Philly cheesesteak style egg rolls. Oh. Consider a sub. I make stuff like this all the time. Got some bell pepper and some onion cut up. I got 1.5 pounds of shaved ribeye. I'm gonna rough chop it and we'll season it. We're gonna heavily season it with some steak seasoning. Get it in the fridge. Onions and peppers in. Bit of salt, pepper. Once these are softened and have a bit of color, pull them out. Throw the steak in. That's what you want to see. Once it gets to this stage, onions and peppers back in. Now that our Philly mix is cooled, we're gonna roll them into egg rolls. By the way, I'm giving away a knife like this when I hit 1,000 subscribers. A slice of provolone in here, Philly cheesesteak meat. I have another video on my channel about how to roll these. Check it out if you want. There you go. All right, they're done. I need a break. Consider a sub. I make stuff like this all the time. Egg rolls. Shit. You should 100% make this. Beef stroganoff. Consider a sub. I make stuff like this all the time. Beautiful sirloins here. All right, we got our beef cut into bite-sized cubes. Let's get a little salt and pepper on these. All right, our steak's in a bowl. We're gonna lightly dredge this in a little bit of flour. All right, that's what it looks like. We're gonna get this in the fridge and prepare everything else. Dice up a medium onion. Maybe not this one. Started a pan on the stove, medium-high heat. Next, we're gonna need 2 cups of beef consomme. Throw all this in there at once, it's gonna steam. We want this to get brown. So let's do it in like 2 to 3 batches. Thanks again for the recipe, Mom. All right, we got our steak all browned up. Add our onion. Now that the onions are translucent, we're gonna deglaze the pan with the 2 cups of beef consomme. Add our steak back in now. Bring this to a boil and then we're gonna simmer it for 30 minutes. 1 cup of sour cream, tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Onions everywhere. This is still at a simmer. We wanna mix this all together. Reminds me of my childhood. Just ladle it on the top. We made breakfast sandwiches for dinner. I got this bacon as a gift. We're gonna use this for our sandwiches. Not a sponsor. So thick. Sourdough bread, butter the griddle. Regular pan would work too. That's the toast we're looking for. All right, we grilled both sides. Fried eggs. Salt, pepper. Flip them. Pepper jack, just a cheddar. We got pepper jack, fried egg, cheddar, hash brown, bacon. This is gonna be phenomenal. What are you looking at, bud? Look at that. Consider a sub. I make stuff like this all the time. These are amazing. We made meatloaf for dinner. Consider a sub. I make stuff like this all the time. I wasn't recording. 2 pounds of ground beef, 1 pound of ground pork, 1 cup of Parmesan cheese, 2 cups of Italian-style breadcrumbs, and 1/2 a grated onion, and 1 egg. I'm gonna go a tiny bit of sriracha sauce, maybe about a tablespoon of garlic, 1/3 of this bottle of teriyaki basting glaze. This is all the ingredients I put in there. It's too much to edit. And trust me, this is a really savory, good meatloaf. This isn't like your grandma's. I wanna mix this up and get it in the fridge so it can have time to marinate. A lot of times I like to put a little of this steak sauce on the top. This would work really well for a meatball base too. There she is. The oven's preheated to 400 degrees. It's gonna take about 45 minutes to an hour. All right, meatloaf's done. We had this in there for about 50 minutes. This looks so good. By the way, it's a 3-pound log of meat. This is hot. We're at this many right now. Once we hit 1,000, a random subscriber is gonna win this knife. I have no fancy name for this chicken pasta dish, but it's really good. It's like a sand painting now. Chili powder, smoked paprika, onion, garlic, salt, pepper. I butterflied some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, trimmed them up a bit. Let's put that seasoning on here. All right, once these are seasoned, get them in the fridge for about an hour. Let's grate 1/2 a white onion. Remember, leave the hairy end on. 3 cloves of garlic. A bit of dried basil. Cut up some sun-dried tomatoes. Do you remember that chili basil oil we made? A little bit of butter. Get the chicken going. Onions, garlic. Let's add in our sun-dried tomatoes. Deglaze this with some chicken stock. Basil. All right, as that's coming to a boil, let's add their cream cheese. We got our sauce simmering, let's cut up some chicken. All right, our sauce is done. Let's just add it straight to the pasta. That's what it looks like. Absolutely delicious. Spanish style rice. Dutch oven or large pot, add a stick of butter. 2 cups of long grain rice. Brown the rice in the butter. It's gonna look foamy like this, keep stirring. Once the rice looks nice and toasty and smells kind of nutty, 2 cups of chicken broth. 3 cups of tomato sauce. Do a half a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Add a little bit of cayenne. Bring to a boil and simmer for 60 minutes. After an hour, that's what your Spanish rice is gonna look like. Just mix it up. Spanish style rice. Taquitos with homemade Spanish rice. That's how you make a ranch water. White tequila. It's dripping. Topo Chico mineral water. A couple of fresh limes. Ranch waters are delicious. Pepperoni pizza style baked pasta for dinner? Let's make it. Consider it a sub. I make stuff like this all the time. Want to get some pasta water going? Put a little kosher salt in there. Grate the mozzarella. This 6 blend is gonna go perfect in here. I just didn't feel like buying 6 different kinds of cheese. Hands are wet. It's 2024. These bags are still super hard to open. Picked up this Falltoberfest Meritzen style beer from Launchpad Brewery today. This won silver place recently in the 2024 World Beer Cup in the Meritzen category. Since we're gonna bake this pasta, I'm gonna spray down this dish. I'm gonna throw some rigatoni in the water, it's boiling. Cut up some of these pepperonis so I'm gonna mix it in with everything. It's gonna be kind of a pizza style. Pasta's done, I'll get it drained. Get a facial. Stop. Add the whole thing back into the pot. I want it to look like this. We put about half the rigatoni in here. I'm gonna save most of that mozzarella for the top. I'm just gonna sprinkle them all over the middle layer. Let's get this in a 400-degree oven. We'll check on it after about 10 minutes. Super easy and super cheap. This is so good. We made crispy dad tacos. Let's get into this. Making your own taco seasoning is super easy. Onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, salt, pepper, cumin, and oregano. Shake it up, homemade taco seasoning. Brown up 2 pounds of 80/20 ground beef. I didn't mean to throw it like that, I'm sorry. The meat's all browned up. I'm gonna drain it off a little bit. Let me know if you also use paper towels to drain your beef. I think we're gonna end up using all of the seasoning. Sorry, my dog's drinking. It's been 45 seconds and he's still drinking. Hey, he's done. Putting the tomato paste in here. We're gonna add some adobo in here too. It's a pretty perfectly shaped taco. These crispy shells are worth it. All right, we got some meat in there. Add some of that medium cheddar. Top these with a little sour cream. These crispy style dad tacos are epic. Consider a sub. I make stuff like this all the time. We made tacos de papa for dinner. Mexican fried potato tacos. I made some mashed potatoes earlier, just however you would, and let them get to room temperature. Tacos de papa. That means tacos with potatoes. Mashed potatoes. And the Oaxaca. You can pretty much use any cheese in this. I just have about 3 pounds of this in my fridge right now. End up grating all of this. I could put Oaxaca on cereal. Frosted Flakes in Oaxaca. I grated up a metric ton of Oaxaca. These are just like a traditional mashed potato you would serve on a Sunday dinner. I'm gonna add some cumin and I'm gonna add some Oaxaca to this. Mix it up. A little smoked paprika in here for a little bit of color and a little bit of smokiness. Spoonful right in the middle. Spread it into about 1/2 of the tortilla. Oil's at 380. This taco in on its side. Sneak peek. It smells so good in here. All right, they're done. Consider a sub. I make stuff like this all the time. This might be your new obsession.